Today we're going to make this simple pot of gold craft for kids, and it's a pot of gold that's at the end of our rainbow for St. Patrick's Day. So we are going to need some scissors, glue, a ruler, a pencil, and lots of colors for our rainbow. So we need purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and we're going to need some black as well. We are now going to take all of the paper that we have collected for our craft today and put them all together. So see how they're all fanned out? I'm going to push them all together, nice and neat. So here you can see all I've done is take all of those pages and put them together nice and neatly. And then I'm going to put them in front of me, long side left to right and short side top to bottom. We're actually going to draw a line going down to make a little bit of a strip of paper that we're going to cut out. So a line is going to go top to bottom. To make that line, we're going to take our ruler and put it right at the edge, going top to bottom on your page. Take your pencil and draw your line. Remember, top to bottom. So there is my one line. You can see it creates a nice long rectangle, a nice long strip of paper. I'm going to take my scissors and cut it out. Now, if you find as you're cutting that this is a little bit tricky because the pages are slipping in your fingers, in a moment I'm going to show you an easier way to do it. If not, just keep holding tightly and cut along that line and you'll end up with all of your strips of paper in all your different colors. Now, remember, if that's too hard, I'm going to quickly show you a different way. One of the ways you can do it that would be easier is you would just draw the line like we did and then cut out one line at a time. Then move the ruler and put it to the next piece of paper, draw the line, and then cut that one out separately. Okay, so go do that if you haven't. If you already have your strips, let's grab our black piece of paper and get started on the next step. And grab a pencil. We're going to draw the pot for our pot of gold. To do that, I'm going to take my pencil and on the top of my page, I'm just going to draw a straight line that goes down and then curves in a little bit, almost like a really big U where it's going to curve around and back up. So it's almost like a really big U. So it comes down, curves in, across, and back up the other side. So there we go, around and back up the other side. There is no perfect way to make your pot. If you would like to make it a different shape, that is also okay. Doesn't matter what size, whether it's bigger or smaller, we are being creative. Okay, now we have our pot. We're going to grab our yellow piece of paper and we're going to make some gold. Now to do that, I'm going to take my yellow piece of paper and I want to just draw on it a little rectangle. So there's a little rectangle at the top and I'm going to cut that out. This is going to make it a little bit easier to cut out our gold. And then you'll see I have a little rectangle left over at the bottom. And I'm going to just put my line on the side and cut that out as well. You can see it's kind of like a square or a rectangle. Don't worry if it doesn't look exactly like mine. It is fine. Everything will work out as we continue. Now I'm going to take one of those pieces that I cut out and I'm going to fold it over once. I'm going to fold it over again. So I folded it over twice. I'm going to take the top of my glue, so the lid of my glue, and I'm going to put it right on one side of my page and I'm going to trace it. I'm just going to trace it. Then I'm going to trace it again. Now if you don't have room, that's okay. Just trace it once and you'll be able to cut them out. You can always make more, so it is not a problem. I'm going to hold that together and I'm going to cut along both of those lines. So because I was able to trace twice, I'm going to cut out twice. And because I folded my paper, when I open these up, I'm going to end up with a whole bunch of gold coins. Now the other piece of paper, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold over once, fold over twice, and I'm going to take my lid of my glue, and this one's a little bit smaller, so I have to squish them together a little bit more closely. I'm going to trace twice, and I'm going to cut those out. Like I said, don't worry. If it didn't work, you can just use more yellow paper, try this again, and cut out circles. If you weren't able to use the lid to a glue stick, that's okay. Just draw small circles and just cut a whole bunch of them out. It's okay. Okay, now we're going to take that pot that we originally cut out, we're going to take our glue and along the top, right where the line is straight for the pot, so right along that straight line, we're going to take those circles that we cut out and we are just going to layer them. So I put one on one end and I'm just going to layer them over top. You just don't want to be able to see any of the black pot at the top, so you just have to layer them a little bit and just side by side. Have a little space at the end. I don't want to see the pot at the end, so I'll just put one at the end. Then for the next row, I'm going to put them in between. So for the next row, you can see the first two circles I have, I'm just putting it in between those two. So there's one in between the other two. And I'm going to go along and keep doing that. So there's the next two, and I'm just going to put them above and in between. So just above and in between. And then we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue, put my layers of coins on top in between the other ones. And again, we're going to keep going in between. And just layer them until I end up with one right at the top. If you found that you didn't have enough coins, that's okay. Go ahead and cut yourself some more and glue them on. Okay, now the next part. Remember all those strips we cut out? Okay, we are going to use those strips now. This is going to be the rainbow for our pot of gold. Remember, there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so we're making our rainbow. I'm going to start with the black strip. So I'm going to take some glue, and at the tip of my black strip, I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Once I have that glue, I'm going to roll over the other side and just glue it together so it is a loop. So there is my loop. Okay, once I have my first loop, then I'm going to take my first color. So when I'm doing my rainbow, I'm going to start with my purple. So here I have purple, and I'm going to put that right through the black loop. So see how I put it right through the black loop? Then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the tip, just like we did with our black piece of paper, and I am going to fold it over. So once I have that glue on the tip, I fold it over and join it to the other side. But now it's linked in with my black loop. So now I have two stuck together. Then I put that down, and I'm going to take my blue piece of paper. I'm going to link that in with my purple. So there's my purple. I'm going to link it in, put a little bit of glue on the tip of my blue, roll it over and join it to the other side. And there we go. Now I have a black, a purple, and a blue. I'm going to do the same thing with my green. So my green strip is going to go through my little blue. I'm going to put a little bit of glue, fold it over to glue it, and there we go. I'm doing the next one, which is my yellow. So with my yellow, I'm going to put that inside my green loop, roll it over, glue it down, and move to my orange. Same thing, put that in between my yellow, put a little bit of glue, roll it over, join it to the other side, and now I'm on my red. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I will have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, and then my last black link. I'm going to use this black link, and that's what we're going to glue to our pot of gold. So with your black link, because that's not part of the rainbow, we don't want to see it, it's going to go behind our pot. I'm just going to flip my pot over, and right in the middle of those coins at the back, I'm going to put some glue. So right in here, so I can kind of hide that black loop, and I'm going to find my black loop and just glue it down right there onto the coin so that it's behind my pot of gold. Then when I turn it around, I'm ready to hang it up, and there is my pot of gold at the end of my rainbow. Thanks for joining me on Craft Club for Kids. Remember, be creative and have fun.